Hi guys, Ray here from City Fan TV, and I'm here at Hollingworth Lake, which is near Littleborough in Greater Manchester, or Lancashire as it used to be called. But a very nice little walk around the lake I'm going on today, and today's video is about Cole Palmer. I wanted to give you an update on Cole Palmer. Now, Cole Palmer, 21 years old, City kid, okay, City kid through and through. I think he's been at the club, was it since he's 8 years old, and he looked brilliant when he played for when he was playing for the under-23s at the age of 18. He looked fantastic, incredible talent, wonderful effort. I said this 3 or 4 years ago when I saw him coming through, and he was already coming through. He'd been in the City, as I said, a very, very long time, and he's fantastic. If you go back and watch some of that EDS stuff, he was brilliant. But he was playing week in, week out. Then he starts training with the first team a couple of seasons back. He doesn't get a lot of games in the Premier League. I think it was 4 or 5. That was all. Last season, I think it was up to 14 games in the Premier League, which was reasonable. Only 1 goal, which was a bit disappointing. And I said last season that I felt he believed he had to show a lot to get a run in the side. So you take too many risks. And we're a possession-based team. Pep doesn't like taking risks. And I think some of the younger players or the fringe players, sometimes they feel that they've got to sparkle. They've got to show that little bit extra to have a chance. Because, hey, look at, Cole Palmer's up against, in an attacking sense, last season we had Gundogan. All right, it's a different position, but taking space. We had Gundogan, we had Riyad Mahrez, Phil Foden, Grealish on the other side, KDB. We've got a ton of attacking talent. And Cole Palmer, if you have a pecking order, he's way down. He's a kid coming through. But I have said about Cole Palmer that his trajectory is similar to Foden's. Now, I don't think he's shone as much as Phil Foden did in his first 2 seasons, but Phil Foden played 4 or 5 league games in his first season and about 15 or 13 in his second. So the numbers are very, very similar. I think Foden scored more goals, and I just think Foden looked better. He looked like he had, at that point, higher ceiling. I wouldn't say more talent, because they both are very, very talented boys. So Cole has to, if he does stay this season, he has to step up. But I'm not sure he's going to stay, and that's the nature of this video. Now, we've heard rumours that clubs are interested in him. We've heard a rumour that Brighton bid £30 million for Cole Palmer. I think initially people were looking around 20. I said it's got to be 30, but that's the rumour. So Brighton bid 30 million, and that was turned down. Palmer is looking at a move away. It looks like West Ham might be in for him at £35 million. And I've said it before, and I'm going to say it now. I'm going to say it again. I much prefer players to go away, young players to be sold rather than loaned out. The reason for that is because when you loan a kid out, say Palmer was loaned out, let's say he's on 30 grand a week and he was loaned out for a year to West Ham. Let's say West Ham pick up all his wages, that's £1.5 million. Let's say they even pay a £500,000 loan fee, that's £2 million, okay? If Palmer has a bad start for West Ham on loan, you get dropped, okay? And it's very hard to come back if you started off poorly, started off badly. It's very hard to repair that feeling of lack of trust that you can't actually do the job. And West Ham would look at that and say, all right, it's 2 million. All right, we bust our £2 million, let it go. Okay, it's only £2 million, and they might just be happy with that and let it go. If West Ham pay £30 million for Cole Palmer, that's a totally different kettle of fish. Okay, you pay 30 million quid for somebody, you are going to try damn hard, you're going to make damn sure that he has every chance to succeed. You are going to keep playing him even when he's had bad games. You might drop him out of the firing line for a game or two, but you paid 30 million quid for this player. You are gonna do your level best to make sure he succeeds. And the example I give a couple of examples regularly about this. 2 goalkeepers from City, Aaron Muric, 6'7" Kosovan goalkeeper. Now he went on loan to Nottingham Forest. He had a bad start and he got ditched, and that was pretty much the end of his loan season. What a waste of time that became that season. Now take a look at Gavin Bazunu, who went to Southampton. Now Gavin Bazunu, another young exciting keeper, but he was sold for, I can't remember the exact numbers, 12-13 million pounds to Southampton, and last season they stuck by him even though you could argue he wasn't he had, I think, a pretty bad save rate percentage, probably the worst in the Premier League, but here's the thing, Southampton stood by him and they played him throughout the season, and that I think would only make him stronger. I mean, as I said, part of the reason was they spent the money, they'd done their money on him, and they wanted to give him every chance to succeed. So if Cole Palmer does go, then I want it to be on to him to be sold, and then obviously we put in a sell-on clause or buyback clause. We don't seem to be buying back anybody. We had a buyback clause with Douglas Luiz, who sold to Aston Villa. Didn't buy him back. I mean, how much is he worth now? 60-70 million quid? I don't think he's worth 60-70 million quid. I just think that's where the ridiculous market is at the moment. Look at Romeo Lavia. You know, we sold him last summer to Southampton for about 10-11 million quid, and he looks like he's going to be on his way for around 50 million quid to probably Chelsea, maybe Liverpool. And City have got, I believe, a 20% sell-on clause, so we will get another 10 million pounds in the coffers. And that's not bad. That's not bad for Lavia. I mean, that's 20 million in total. The kid would never have made it at City, I don't think, because at the time he was coming through, all right, Fernandinho was on his way out, but we've got Rodri, the best DM in the world, okay, and we just bought Calvin Phillips as well. So unfortunately for Lavia, had no chance at City. So let's go back to Cole Palmer and see what the options are. Where would you go if you want to go to, I think if you want to go to a team that's playing an exciting brand of attacking football full of youth, young players, Brighton's a cracking place to go. I mean, they just beat, was it Luton the other day, yesterday, 4-1, and look at their Ferguson up front. Look at him, 18 years old, another fantastic talent. I don't know how, I mean, he came through the youth system, but Brighton's front three, I think the oldest was 21, so they just seem to be able to pluck really good players out of thin air, and Cole Palmer would be fighting amongst them to get a start, but he'd be playing with a manager who's going to play on the front foot, I think, play that possession, an exciting brand of football. That's one option. Another option is to go to West Ham, and play under David Moyes. And if you're looking at style of football, I don't think David Moyes is playing the style of football that you'd really be desperate to go and join his the David Moyes revolution down at the London Stadium. I just don't think that's great. I mean, if West Ham are offering a bit more money, that makes a difference. But also, I think what makes a difference is the fact that West Ham have a player that City want in Lucas Paquetá. Now, they're pushing the price up and up and up, and that's their free choice. That's their, it's entirely up to them how much they value a player who they bought for about just over £50 million last summer. They want £100 million for him this summer. I mean, it's crazy. He hardly pulled up any trees. He had a good end to the season, but the first 2/3 of the season were below buying average, I think. So, yeah, it's a possibility that I'd say value Cole Palmer. I would push it to 40 million. Why not 50 million? I mean, why not? Everybody else is putting silly numbers on this, but if we really want Paquetá, and I think we do, especially with the injury to KDB, then if West Ham want 100 for him, we should be saying we want 40 million for Cole Palmer. and let £60 million exchange hands and do the deal. I don't think West Ham would. Well, why not? Why not ask him for 50? I don't think they'd accept that. But in a deal with one player coming one way, one going the other, you know, they're still making a lot of money out of this. So it'll be really interesting. We've got to see what happens in this transfer window. We've got just under 3 weeks left of the transfer window. The deals that are going on at the moment, they are absolutely ballistic. I mean, Chelsea, you got more money than sense. They got Endo Fernandez. Last summer they paid through the nose for him. It looks like they're going to play through the nose for Moses Caicedo. Maybe even Romeo Lavia has been talked about at 55 million quid. These transfers are absolutely astronomical. And you've got to pay what you got to pay to get players that you want. So, finally, I'm trying to think, where will Cole Palmer end up? I still like him to be at City. I still like him to have that chance. I still like him to have that opportunity, because I still think he's a tremendous player, and I would be extremely sad to see him go forever. You know, I want that conveyor belt of young, precocious talents coming through the Manchester City Academy, kids who are born blue, okay, kids who grew up supporting Manchester City, kids who live in the local area, kids who will give everything to play for Manchester City, kids who will die for the shirt, literally die for the shirt. They'll do whatever it takes, and then a little bit more. I want them to be coming through. I don't want them to be playing for Manchester City, but I've got to accept the way of the world. I've got to accept that, you know, some kids that you thought might make it might not make it at City, and they might have to move on to find a successful career somewhere else. And my worry is that Cole Palmer will be one of those kids that has to move away from Manchester to find success in his career, to find that development he needs. He's 21 years old. He desperately needs to be playing on a regular basis, like Romeo Lavia showed last season. Play on a regular basis, and you can have a very successful career. I mean, Romeo Lavia looks like he's going to move to Chelsea or Liverpool and be an important player for wherever he moves. So, you know, Cole Palmer, one great season for him, somewhere that will trust him and keep playing him and help him develop. Who knows where his ceiling can be. Guys, if you're new to the channel, it would be fantastic if you could subscribe. We've had a phenomenal success on the channel, and it is phenomenal. Our subscriber base has gone up by, I think, nearly 1,500 new subscribers in the last month alone, as we geared up to the new season, as we did a lot of videos on finance with Colin Savage and Bernard. People seem to have appreciated that, and these walking videos, people love these walking videos that I've been doing for over 5 years now, I think, since when we lived in France and in the old Man City fan TV days. But guys, if you can subscribe, it would be fantastic, and if you can hit that bell icon, you'll be notified as soon as new videos come out. And if you like the video, hey, give us a thumbs up. We'll see you around, Blues.